Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Dharam Singh, your friend, your host. And today I am with a very learned person, very experienced person, coming all the way from Kenya. His name is Joblin Omari. I hope I pronounce it properly. Joblin, I know, but Omari is it okay?
It's okay, Joblin Omari. Yes,
Omari. Okay,
yes.
all right. So Joblin he has done a lot of good work in Kenya, and he has worked for many organizations. So I have a little bio about him. So I will talk a little bit about him, and I will let him to explain why what makes him to sit in front of you to talk about this exciting topic. Because he has some credibility. He has done PgMP recently on 9th of June 2022. So help me to maintain my record. And Joblin, I don't know if you have seen, uh, this year I already have 60 PgMPs, and this is my second highest so far. 72 is my highest in 2019 when the book changed. And the best thing is my 13 out of last 16 PgMPs are above target with above target results.
Those are impressive results.
I'm very excited that, and some of them, like four people have done the exam in 2.5 or less than 2 hours. One person actually did her exam in 2 hours and she passed with above target. So something is working out. I don't know what, but maybe God is more impressed with me, my work. But any case, so it is not about me and my the way I'm. It's about you and the people who came to me to learn something, and they did excellent job. And of course, you work hard and got the result. And I take all the credit. Not true. So thank you all of you guys. So I know it takes effort to book your 1 hour time to come here and listen to the excellent people come in on this webinar. And I'm fortunate to have people willing to put their hand up. They wanted to contribute back to the society, and that gives me a privilege that I can bring the knowledge from various part of the country, which be different countries and different people, different experience level. So, and that's where I saw Joblin has a lot to offer, and I invited him. He willingly accepted it, and we worked on this particular webinar, for many hours. And thanks to my team, to they do wonderful job in getting this webinar organized. So, as I said, Joblin is a driven and result-oriented professional, having 12-year professional experience in program management, strategy development, execution, and impact analysis. He has accomplished great successes in leading teams, providing technical expertise, and driving change in social impact projects with NGO, private philanthropy, government partnership, and development agencies. Joblin is passionate about evaluation and data to deliver insightful narratives to continuously improve, reposition, and reimagine programs to drive performance and create sustainable impact. With an in-depth understanding of reporting standards for projects funded by USAID, CDC, UKAID, EU, KFW, Bill and Melinda Gates, and many more. He has delivered victories on numerous projects. So, as I said, he's coming with lots of experience and exposure, and I cannot have better person than him today to talk about this special topic around program management decision making skills. So, Joblin, welcome, and thank you for accepting this invite. Would you like to say a few words about you?
Thank you very much, Dharam, for having me in this discussion. I'm really grateful and humbled to be here today. Also, I want to thank those who have organized this webinar for us. I'm really grateful. As you have rightly put, that I have some experience, quite considerable experience in managing programs. Those that, especially those that focus on social impact at the community level. I have considerable experience working with the governments in partnership with private sectors. You realize that my experience cuts across various programs that are multi-sectoral or financed. So you realize that most of the programs that I have run, and I will share the experiences that you are likely to have the government as one of the partners. You're likely to have a multinational development partner. You're also likely to have some private sector players as well as the civil society organizations. So most of those programs are quite large. I will be discussing and providing my experience on various topics, especially on leadership, decision making, and how to navigate and actually carry along all the stakeholders to ensure that you deliver the strategic objectives of those projects. So thank you very much, Dharam, for having me today. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Fantastic, fantastic. And would you like to say something about your journey as a PgMP? What made you to do PgMP, and what do you see the influence or impact of the PgMP in your day-to-day? I think you've already 3 months now. Do you see any difference in your day-to-day handling or working with your stakeholders?
Yeah, as I have mentioned before, that because of kind of projects I have been managing and the kind of stakeholders, I realized that there's a lot of decision making and governance aspects that are involved in these projects that are very key. I realized that it is important for me to actually do my PgMP then. As I'd already done some the PMP, I had some prior information that PgMP has more information around governance and more skills will be acquired if I get to do my PgMP around governance, stakeholder management, risks, and all those areas. So I started my journey to do PgMP in January, actually this year. That's when I entered this mentorship class with Dharam, and thank you for accepting me to be a mentee. and you really assisted me in the application that we were supposed to prepare for the final evaluation by the panel. And it was an exciting journey going through your mentorship class. Actually, I remember you kept on insisting that just read the topics prior, and then we will have a discussion on areas that maybe you didn't have further clarity. So I could only read the topic and then wait for the class just to hear and share experiences across those topics. So it was a wonderful journey to work with you on this area. You are my PgMP. How it has helped me, for sure, as I've mentioned, that PgMP is really at another level. The skills you get, especially around managing your stakeholders, especially the program governance board. You realize that it gives you ideas on how to actually even set up a governance board with the sponsors that can help you manage your program effectively and deliver the objectives of the project, of the program on that project. So it has helped me even to manage better my projects so that I can have the benefits that accrue while managing this program or these projects in an interrelated manner. So I appreciate the information I've already received by going through the certification for PgMP.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing your experience, and of course, thank you for accepting me as your mentor. It is always a privilege for me to work with people like you, to guide you, help you, push you, motivate you, excite you, and get you the results. And I didn't mention this month, October already, 7 out of 7 passed with above target. 7 out of 7 not only passed with above target, and 6 of them got all 5 above target. Somebody did mention in one of the LinkedIn posts, looks like Dharam has a magical pill. You just have to give you, and you just have to drink it, and you will be fine. I don't know how true it is, but I will take this as a compliment.
Yeah, Dharam, you realize what is important, and the way, because I've gone through your experience, is that the way you motivate someone to actually go through this certification. The fact that you're able to actually prepare someone mentally that this is possible, that you just have a good plan and you will pass is really what makes your mentorship really unique.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the most important thing when person coming to me about any certificate, because when they come, they have excitement, of course, and they wanted to have seen all the success stories, but they have some fear inside them. Maybe I'm not right person. Can I do it? How much time it take? Is it really worth? So many questions I get. And when they start on the day one, everybody look very confused, very, I don't know how's my journey going to be. But, gradually over the 6 weeks time, you learn and grow and apply the knowledge and, go to the exam and you pass the exam. Yesterday, one of my students, he didn't tell me that he's going to for exam yesterday, he did it yesterday only. I was actually even thinking he's when he's going to do his panel review. He's, all this. But suddenly I saw a message, hey, Dharam, I passed the exam. And it took 2.5 hours to complete the exam and all above target. So this is, of course, a wonderful news and exciting news for me as a mentor. And people are achieving the successes in every aspect, not just passing the exam, but they're growing in their professional life. And they're getting headhunted sometime. And the best thing is when they're working or dealing with the stakeholders, their steering committee, your dealing is more mature, and the people can see through. Hey, this program manager, he really knows his stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. So anybody who's interested in doing PgMP and PfMP, I have shared 2 links on the chat. Please look into that. So these one of the PgMP one is 1.5 hour video with my older look when I was old, with long hair and beard. And the other PfMP also share the PfMP, so just in case you are interested in PfMP, just to know the steps required and how to be ready for the exam. Anyway, so let me bring you back to our session, today's session, and I have a few questions for you. And I also have some questions from the audience, so I will take them when the right time comes. And previously provided questions. And every one of you has the opportunity to ask questions to Joblin, question to me, or question to both of us. We'll try our best to give you the answer. If we cannot, we'll come back to you with the answer, or maybe have a meeting with you so that you can explain, I can explain you better. But anyway, let's get started. All right, Joblin, my first question to you is, how does leadership affect decision making? And how can leader make better decisions by keeping the organization strategy intact?
Thank you, Dharam, for that question. I must acknowledge here that having good leadership skills is really important for a program manager. And it is important because of two things. One, it enables you to deliver the objectives of your program, but also most importantly, it allows you to actually grow your team. I realize that when, as a good program manager, you should be able to actually empower and motivate your team members to actually be innovative, think around making positive decisions, and in that such a way, once they are empowered, you're able to actually see that they are able, they accomplish the strategic goals of the program. So good leadership is leadership where you are able to actually empower and motivate your team to make decisions. And also, most importantly, is be with your team, acknowledge their decisions and support them, even sometimes when they are not the right decision. They might make wrong decisions on the way. Then how do you maneuver in a scenario when they have made a wrong decision? Is support them to have corrective measures. Once you, as you realize that what is important is that they made a decision, though it might not go well. However, is they have an opportunity to actually make a corrective action, and most importantly, learn. So as they learn, they actually grow. So leadership is very important in decision making at that level. Also, as a program manager, you realize that the programs are normally faced with a lot of ambiguity, and then there's a lot of uncertainty. And for large programs, it's even worse because they are very complex, and sometimes it's hard to actually identify the best alternative. So, as a good leader, you should be able to make decisions and be confident in those decisions. I remember one of my leaders at some point always insisted that as a leader you must be confident in the decisions. And that's the way, and that's the only way you actually also inspire your other team members to make decisions, because then they will be confident, will have confidence in you, and they will be able to make decisions after having looked at all the alternatives, and those decisions might help your program to achieve the required objectives. Also, lastly, maybe I can mention something around as a good leader, you should support your team actually to solve these problems, but not just solving, to be able to critique and identify what are the root causes of this problem, and identify ways of preventing other or continuous failure, which might actually be negative to the productivity and of the team, and lead to non-achievement of the goals. So it is important for any leader to make a decision, to support his team members to make a decision, to own the decisions at that level, and be also confident with the decisions. You realize now where I am, where we are running programs, and I said we have several stakeholders. Some of them are very powerful. Is as a good leader, you should be able to convince the stakeholders on your decision that you have made the right decision with the right information, with the right facts. So, and then that's how you are able to actually rally people behind you to steer the program to success.
Fantastic. Nicely presented. Good thought. Thank you very much. And so good way to present, the leadership skills, very important to have leadership skill and make the decision, right decision. And if sometimes you don't not able to make the right decision, you still have to see how you could correct them and learn from that. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Yeah, guys, you have opportunity to ask me question or Joblin ask question whenever you feel like, and I will take this question. You have a question pad, and keep making more interactive. These GoToWebinar is when, you can see us, but you cannot you cannot talk. But I don't think I did probably option. But anyway, so if you have a question, you can put that on the question pad. I will take them as and when right time. All right, Joblin, my second question for you is, what kind of trade-off tactics is best suited for program manager when handling factors such as cost and benefits? Cost benefits.
Yeah, as a program manager, for sure, your role is to ensure that your program is able to achieve its objectives within the required cost, and most importantly, the benefits out of those programs are attained. So you need to really balance and ensure that your benefits are being delivered with the right level of cost. So there's a level of efficiency that is required, but also most importantly, what benefits are you getting out of every expenditure or out of every cost? So as a program manager, most important part is first is to be able to understand or be in control of the risks. The better you manage the risks and minimize whatever risks that the program faces, then you are able to actually maintain or balance costs, and while achieving the required benefit. And it's actually what might lead to your program running out above budget. Sometimes when you don't have proper control of the risks, or you are not able to identify the triggers early enough, so you are likely to spend more in terms of just trying to manage those risks. In the event, eventually, you also it affects the benefits that you get. But also another aspect you can look at is risks can be looked at two levels. Most people concentrate on threats, but there are also opportunities.
Yes.
How do you take advantage, or how do you leverage on those opportunities that can be that can make you achieve the benefits that you want, or more benefits at a good cost? So look at also opportunities, optimize them, and you'll be able to have value while saving costs. So that's another area that you should be very careful on to look at. Identify those opportunities, optimize them, leverage on them, and you'll be able to actually increase the cost. Another area that you can actually see how to trade off between costs and value is the use of resources that you have. Is which task requires what kind of level of resources to deliver what type of value or benefit. So as a program manager, you should be able to balance that. You realize that I can use a very experienced resource to do a task which has not so much value. The same task can actually be done by a less experienced resource. So you should be able to understand and be in control of the program, and being able to know what kind of resources are needed for what kind of tasks. So in that way, you are able to make some cost savings, and while attaining the benefits that are required. Another key area, specifically for those who are running programs in other countries across the continents. For example, we have a program that is being financed from the US, and it's being implemented in Africa, it's being implemented in Asia. You realize that the program might be affected by the foreign exchange, okay, which in one way or another affects your budget and even affects the benefits that accrue out of your program. So you should be able to actually know if your program is affected by the forex exchange. Currently, Dharam, you realize what is happening to the forex exchange. So for those programs that actually are benchmarked or are financed or are costed the dollar, there's an advantage if you are implementing in a country where the exchange is favorable. You're able to actually make some savings. So that's another area where you can be able to actually balance costs and benefits. Another way is look at your procurement needs for the program. Look at the procurement needs for the program. Some procurements can be done in bulk, meaning you are able to get some economies of scale while doing the procurement, but getting the same or higher or more benefits out of those costs. So look, be attentive, be intentional while doing your procurement. See how you can make savings by actually procuring at the right time, at the right place, with the right quantities. Lastly, maybe I can also mention that as a manager, as a program manager, you'll notice some of the projects might have repetitive tasks which can be automated. So be innovative and think about. And now there are a lot of things are being actually automated, being the digital era.
Yeah.
For example, data collection that can be smartly actually be automated. Issues around even quality checks can be automated. So you are able to make some cost savings while you continue delivering the benefits that are required for the program. So at high level, those are the what I can think about how you can actually have a balance between costs and benefits.
Yeah, definitely. Currently you mentioned a few things here. Cost. What are the factors? Which factors are impacting the cost, and how to maximize the benefit, which is very important. And you mentioned about the forex. I got a comment here. Yes, forex exchange is a big factor, especially where the currency is fluctuating, going up and down, especially going downward. And you thought you have $1 million, $1 million in your currency, let's say in your local currency, and suddenly that become 800,000. What happened? You have to shrink. So, but that should not impact your benefit as well. So you need to optimize what can I do what else we can do to still maintain the benefits.
Yeah.
Or going back to your sponsor or your client, guys, this is the situation, and sometimes telling them the true situation, they also understand, because they also get worried. Hey, if they don't have money, then the quality get impacted. And a lot of things can be automated, as you mentioned, because of the AI and machine learning and all kind of things, data collection, and nowadays having good digital, PMIS system that can automate a lot of things. You don't have to worry about Friday morning submitting or creating reports and all of things. Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, my next question: how can cognitive biases interfere with decision making? Cognitive biases, that we are biasness, interfere with decision making.
Yeah, cognitive bias, for just a better understanding of what it means. These are sometimes when, as program managers, the fact that we are human beings, so we are born to some bias while making our decisions, which is very normal and actually acceptable. That as a program manager, you are a human being, you are likely to make some decisions biasly, and it might affect the program. So when we talk about this biasness, especially for program managers, and you are able, as a program manager, you should be able to identify when when there's a cognitive bias is affecting decision making.
Yeah.
For example, sometimes as program managers, due to the experience that you might have accrued over time, we have very strong opinions or strong suggestions around how some tasks are done. And you might not realize because of those strong opinions, you are ignoring the perspective of others about that task.
Yeah.
Okay, and that might make you make not the right decision at some point because of that strong opinion.
Yeah.
So as a program manager, you should be able to continuously develop yourself and even ask. Be able to communicate with your team members, especially, and help you to. They can actually help you to identify while you seem to be having a cognitive bias while making some decisions. So it all depends on the freeness you will be having with your team members. If you are able to have a collaborative nature of engagement, actually, they will be free to tell you that I think at some point, pause. Is this decision coming about because of your experience in this, or we have a different opinion from what you have? So that is very important for you to be able to inculcate in your team. Another scenario which I can give as an example is when, as a program manager, there's things that to you might seem to be obvious. And due to the experience, even in terms of looking at risks as a program manager, because you have gone through so much, there are some risks that you're like, it's acceptable. However, when you look into keenly, you realize some team members actually have a different opinion about that risk. And that affects your decision-making power because you have dealt with the same issue over and over again, and the things that some things seem to be pretty obvious to you, but the team members might have seen something that you might overlook. So that is very important for you to be able to look at. Another scenario I can also give is that sometimes program managers assume so much and they don't want to have a better understanding and a reflection of the issues that are affecting the program. This can actually make you have or result in you making inadequate decisions due to the lack of understanding of the issue. So as a program manager, please take your time to reflect, because cognitive biasness is it's so material, especially when, as a program manager, you assume so many things and you don't want to have a better understanding of the real issues in your program. So those are very key areas that, as a program manager, you should be able to understand. So risk, as I've mentioned, is an area that can be easily affected by cognitive biases, and this is due to the various expertise within your team. What might be seen to be very obvious to you, a risk that is acceptable to the other term. If you do a deeper analysis of that risk, actually you may realize it is actually high, or the impact when it happens is high. But while you as a program manager, because of cognitive biasness and assuming so many things, you end up actually rating the risk as acceptable and not really having a high impact in the program. So in general, that cognitive biasness affects decision making, affects your program.
Oh, definitely. That's why you need to have little openness and more freedom thinking, the more openness thinking. Yeah. Great stuff. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do have a question. So as a programmer, you are faced with a situation where you have a high touch or demanding donor. How do you balance between taking a hard stand and managing relationship with the donor? And the development world is demanding it in itself. So you have it had, you probably got the answer question now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that question, and that's a really a good question, and it affects many program managers, especially those who are dealing with the difficult donors. Normally, difficult and demanding donors, because especially when it comes to reporting, you realize that donors have so much expectation, and you as a program manager, you should be able to actually ensure that those expectations are met. So how do you deal with that? So at first, I normally say that develop a working relationship with the donor. And how do you develop that? Make sure that you update your donor or sponsor at that level of any events or material changes in your program early enough. That is very important. As a practice also, you should be able to have quick meetings with your donor. I normally call them you can have coffee meetings with your donors just to give an update. And have and be able to express and in that meeting, we normally call them off the cuff meeting. You are able to actually explain in detail how your program is doing, what challenges it's facing, and the donor has more time to actually think with you and be within your shoes and understand how the program is doing, and from both perspectives, you are able to maneuver some of the programs or challenges the program is facing. So it is very important. One is to develop that relationship with your donor. Do not only send a report to the donor. Maybe you are required to report on a quarterly basis. Then you just say, I will send a report, and then wait for the donor to write back that they have received the email. Prepare your donor. That's what I normally say. Prepare your donor. Update him. Have these constant catch-up meetings with the donor, especially. Share some snapshots of what is really happening in your program. The earlier you do, the better, and you'll be able to manage that kind of relationship.
Exactly. So whether it's a donor or whether any key stakeholder, you need to understand them. You need to know who this person is, what their expectation from you, and what kind of report they need, when they need, and most important thing, you have relationship with them, not just think about how can I build my rapport with them. So as you mentioned, maybe having coffee or dinner together, or maybe go out and having team building activity, something like that, which opens up. Sometimes we are too much worried about work, milestone dates, all these things, great things, when we as a programmer we have to think. But sometimes we are going too much into that. When you take yourself out of that and start working with the donor, and you need to understand their perspective, because the donor means they have their money. Some this money is hard-earned money, so they're giving you for a reason, so that you can use this money for a specific purpose. And if this money is not utilized as expected, then of course they will not be very happy. So they have to understand your point of view. You also have to understand their point of view, why they are so demanding, what is driving them. Because some people get passionate about it. Okay, I have money, but I don't know how to use it. I give it to somebody else, and that's where they're passionate. They want to know how you utilize my money, what benefit you have provided to the recipients, and so and so. So work with them. As any relationship we have, to understand who they are, what they need, when they need, and have a rapport, different level rapport.
Yeah. There are another important aspect, especially for those who are dealing with development donors that run social programs.
Yeah.
It is important for you as a program manager to actually make the donor see what his money is doing.
Yeah.
Invite them to your project area. Let them have conversations with those beneficiaries or participants that your program is interacting with. Let them hear, let them see how your program is actually creating impact at the community level. If they only have to read the reports, then they don't have a feel what the impact of the program is at the ground. So they are likely to be difficult or demanding as look like they are demanding. However, it's because they don't have an understanding of actually, or have a feel of what is actually happening. So if you're able to actually invite them for your activities, let them speak to the stakeholders also, the various stakeholders. Let them talk to the community members. Let them hear from the ground how the program or the project is benefiting. Then you will be able to actually manage or develop a very good and positive relationship with the business.
Fantastic. Very good discussion. Thank you. Thanks for asking questions. And keep bringing more questions, good discussion. All right. So, Joblin, I have my next question. How is data-driven decision-making culture in the digitalized world, and how does it impact today's organization? So, data-driven decision-making.
Yeah. I think for as a program manager, decision making is very key, and you realize that every decision every decision you make as a program manager affects the delivery of benefits.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So you realize that it is actually very bad when you make decisions without data, without being informed by data. When your decision is backed up by data, then you have a solid decision that can be verified. Okay, so in all these aspects, in today, it is very, as I mentioned earlier, there are various ways you can be able to actually collect information. There are new tools that, as a program manager, you should be able to actually take advantage of. Some of them actually very cheap to acquire. They're not very costly, while they can help you make decisions in a timely manner. You realize program managers spend so much time making decisions, but they can even spend days or delay making decisions because they don't have the right data, and that affects delivery. So you should be able to, in your program, be able to ensure that you have real-time data to help you make decisions at the right time. Otherwise, if you don't have the right data, you end up delaying making a decision, which affects your project delivery and benefits. So it's very important that as a program manager, ensure that you have the right data. And it's good practice actually to have data analysts in your program.
Yeah.
Data analysts are very important. They can help you analyze a huge chunk of data in minutes, and you're able to make a decision around that. So you realize that data is important, but most importantly is that it allows you to make timely decisions.
Yeah. Exactly. And another important factor is the data has to be accurate, or it's not fudged data which help you to see. You may feel, hey, good, we are doing good, but actually you look at the real data and make the right decision based on that. So, and I correctly mentioned having a good tool nowadays. I think you also reviewing with my friend VXDCC, which is something exactly what you're looking for, having data collected in real time and make the decision, give the reports, give the warning, give the alerts, and on your mobile phone, in office, wherever you are, and help you to make faster decision, accurate decision in the shorter time. Yeah. So nowadays there's a lot of focus on data because we are collecting so much data from everywhere, and if you can make some sense out of the data, the context, and make some better decision for your organization, for your society, and for yourself.
Sure.
Fantastic. Good. Thank you. And okay. And my next question for you is: do program manager to be risk takers or risk averse while making critical decisions in their program or projects? Whether you should be the, of course, risk takers or risk averse, whether in what kind of approach they should have.
Yeah. Risk management is central to project management. Actually, I normally say project management is 99% risk management, because you realize that projects, by their nature, they're ambiguous, they're complex, they're uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
So how you manage risk is crucial as a program manager. How do you balance? How are you able to identify the triggers of risk very early? Are you able to mitigate and understand what if a risk occurs in a program? What will be the impact? I have seen and Dharam, I can attest that preparing contingency plans and management plans and having contingency budget and management budget are very important in project management. Because of the uncertain nature of these programs, as a program manager, you should be able to know that in case a risk occurs, do you have a plan? Do I have a budget for that? That's very important. And sometimes we have seen where a risk happens, you end up overspending your budget because you don't have it cater for. You didn't have a contingency budget for it for your program, which is a very bad practice. So, as a good practice, a project manager should be able to really identify a contingency budget for their program. What am I really saying? Because the question was, what is, as a program manager, are you supposed to be risk averse or a risk taker? Okay.
Yeah.
I just said, as a program manager, you cannot avoid risk in a program. So what is important is for you is, as a program manager, are you in control of your risks? And what kind of plan do you have in case risks occur in the program? And as a program, there are many other opportunities and threats that affect your program. So you should be able to balance between the two. How do I take advantage or optimize my opportunities? How do I lower or mitigate the potential risks in my program? So that is very important for a program manager to be able to balance those two. And I say, as a program manager, I don't think you will be able to run a program if you are not able to take risks. But it's not taking, but being able to be in control of your risks. So we are not just saying, as a program manager, just take risks. No, you should be in control. Ensure that you undertake your activities at the right time where you are certain of the outcome. Okay, so that you are not affected by those risks. So you should be in control and know I am going to undertake my tasks when I am in control of the environment. So you'll be able to actually lower the risks.
Yeah. So the most important thing for any project program manager to understand the risk tolerance of the organization, risk tolerance of the sponsor or the client, And if they are risk averse, then automatically that impacts your way of handling the risk. If they have a tolerance limit which is very low, then you have to be a little bit careful about what risk you can take, what you can't take. And if they have money, plenty of money, don't worry about it. You know, so they allow you to take more risk. Of course, risk we take because we're talking negative risk, or so if we are taking risk because it is going to give us some positivity, some benefit we see. The risk and the benefit has to be, when I think we have to take cost benefit analysis. We're taking a risk, investment required, and the benefit generated from that. If the benefits are lower than the investment, then why take the risk? So that's where the decisions also.
Dharam, you have mentioned a very important point: risk tolerance. Some call it risk appetite.
Yeah.
So you should be able to understand, especially from your sponsor, what is their risk appetite.
Exactly.
And the sector and different sectors have different risk tolerance levels or risk appetite levels. So you should be able to understand, in my industry, this is the risk appetite, and in others, it's a bit lower, in others, a bit more. So even development partners or sponsors also understand that this really a risky program. I'll give it a tolerance of 50%. Others say this one we are able to control the environment. I think I would only take a risk tolerance of 15%. So you should be able to look at and for sure risk tolerance as one of the aspects around risk taking.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice way of finishing this question. I have a question from Carlos from Sydney. He has already given me this, put the question back on the request. So the question I have is, what are the benefits of being an employee of sponsor under the business model that allows better operation and control with specialized PM company? And how can an independent PGM win the contract to be a program manager of a good group of projects? Do you understand this?
Yeah, that's a good question and a critical one, Dharam. The benefits of you having reporting or being employed with a sponsor, or especially when you are a program management consulting company.
Yeah,
I can say there are pros and cons of each.
Yeah.
There's between, sometimes you look at both scenarios. Sometimes it might be beneficial actually to be employed by the sponsor, because then you have a closer working relationship. And sometimes there are also cons to that, because also then it affects your decision-making power in the program, being able to steer the program according to plan. Because sometimes when you have a very close working relationship with the sponsor, then you are able, there might be, it might affect your decision maker as a program manager. But essentially, what I can say in that scenario is that there is no perfect situation. It's what is the context you are working in, or what structure you're working in, and both have their pros and cons. Dharam, what do you think?
Yeah, whether you're employed or not employed by the same company, so more important is you have to demonstrate what benefit they are going to get from doing this work, this program. So, and because you're working for them, you need to talk from their point of view, their benefits, and demonstrate by doing the program in this way, or applying this technique, or even show them the benefit realization of the whole program. So that's what you have to do as a employee or as a program manager. Don't think about it as employee or non-employee. Okay. How can an independent program manager win a contract to be a program manager of a good project? So actually, that's where you need to have the tools. Need to know what are the best practices in let's say in the benefit management, and learning the best practices from the standards for program management can be easy way to learn that. and you need to know what is benefit, how it's benefit realized, how to demonstrate it, and all kind of things. So when you are in the RFQ process, or when you are in the interview process, you need to talk in the language, and the language will come when you learn from the best practices. Best practices, as you can see from PMI, has a number of best practices from in the project management space, the Pembroke 7th edition, and now we have standard for program management, standard for portfolio management. So learn from those best practices and take a certificate. People do recognize a certified professional, and that gives them confidence. Hey, this company or this person has credibility. He has gone through a tough process of getting a certificate. So, I will suggest you to get into the program learning, the program, whether it's an MBA program. I think MBA program is great, but it takes a lot of money and time. But doing a PgMP or PfMP can get you on the path very, very fast. Joblin has done a good job, and I hope you got something out of this. And the people watching this webinar after, of course, recorded program, you also have opportunity to earn 1 PDU. And again, once you watch the video, let me know, send me a message. Hey, Dharam, I watched a video with Joblin, it was great, and maybe I like share some learning from that. I like to see that, and I will give you the PG code. All right, any other questions? I got feedback, great session, and yep, I got yay, Piyush, and I know Piyush is my batchmate from my college time. Thank you, Piyush, for your kind message. Thank you. And all the people who have been joining or continue to join, I'm bringing more and more people to these sessions. Next month, I think 9th of November, I have a great person to join. And then I think the end of, or somewhere, 23rd of this month, you don't want to miss that event. Somebody very, very passionate and learning. He has done his PgMP in record time, and he's going to do PfMP in record time, less than a month time. So his PfMP is planned for 19th of November, and after that, 23rd November, he's going to be in front of you. So please, block your time, or as soon as you see the event, block yourself, and you will learn a lot from him. If he is the right person coming to that event, you will learn more about Neom City in Saudi Arabia, and it will be a great experience for you. So I don't think I have any questions, and I don't see any audience question. And I quickly see a couple of things here. Yeah, somebody said getting started in the field of project management and leadership. I think it's a great way to start. Of course, the project management is something is not taught in the schools and colleges that much, as much where we are told how to run the engineering programs and everything. So get started by doing your some basic certificate as a CAP and PMP, and once you got there, then you look for leadership roles. For leadership roles, PgMP, PfMP, I think you cannot underestimate their importance. So leadership means we are getting into the strategic role, C-level roles, and so on and so on. So take yourself there. And I have another point. It is pleasure attending such a valuable interview. I'm planning to take PgMP certification. I love to have you in my program as soon as you're ready. Call me and book my time. You have my booking meeting invite and booking link. If not, let me know. Please book time with me. I will actually recommend you to book time with me before you decide, because you should know what you are getting into, what you're going to gain from this program, and how my program will help you to achieve your success in shortest time. It is always a good practice for you, before you decide anything, just spend time with the mentor. I may be the best mentor, but if I don't talk in your language or your way, or we are not having frequency match, then you might find it's worthless. So it's a 15-20 minute invest that before you finally make a decision. I'm happy to give you my time, and even though if anything I can help you with, feel free to book my time and work with you and make sure you get the right decision and right direction. All right, Joblin, thank you very much for this wonderful discussion. I'm very, very delighted. I am very happy that I requested you and you accepted my invite, and we have done this beautifully. And I can see lots of positive comments from lots of people. And thank you for your contribution.
Thank you also, Dharam, for organizing this, and also I want to appreciate those who have managed to attend this session. I hope you have managed to learn something from this discussion. And for those who are looking forward to doing their PgMP, please know that that is the right way to go. Dharam is here as your mentor, and you'll be able to achieve it in the shortest time possible. So thank you very much also, Dharam, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much. And thank you all of you once again. And I will see you soon again. Keep watching all the recorded videos, and send me invite, LinkedIn invite, and I think Joblin will be happy to be in your connection as well. So once again, thank you and take care and look after yourself, look after your family and your society. Bye now.